but I ain't got love for you, bitch. She was like, don't bother me. Well, I was really recording shit. I forgot, my bad.
What is going on, you guys? So this is part 3. You already know what this is. Urban Ninja, Jonathan. All right, let's continue.
That was the upstairs apartment.
Yep. Well, let's just go through this.
The episode begins with Cogs digging up something on the surface of the moon. Leading the Cogs are the big bad Beetleborgs. No, I'm serious. They had the costumes from that little Power Rangers-esque show lying around and decided to use them for this.
Yep.
And who should be watching them but Andros, wearing the cloak that makes him completely conspicuous against the Grey Rocks. They spot him, of course, riding on horses after him. For the record, this is the Machine Empire here. Why do they have horses? Anyway, Andros morphs and escapes, leading to the true reunion part of this episode.
Why, I even once met Lord Zed and Rita.
Yeah? So did I.
So how did Bulk get back to Earth from Miranoi? Well, the best answer is, shut up and don't question it. Bulk and Skull are back together again.
You really think you ought to bug him?
It sounds important. Excuse me, sir. You have a phone call.
Now, there have also been a lot of theories about Bulk and Skull's respect for Tommy, ranging anywhere from knowledge of his past as a ranger to simply being respectful to him given their past together. I, however, just kind of grin because in re-watching all these old episodes, I can't help but remember one particular scene.
Well, looky who we have here, Skull.
Yeah, it's the new kid who makes look bad at school.
Come on. Hey. Nobody insults Bulk.
Yeah, nobody.
I think you owe me an apology. Eh?
That is why I love the Green Ranger. He literally got pissed to the point where lightning came out of his eyes and made them niggas jump into the motherfucking dumpster.
It's only because it was evil at the time. So you like the evil ranger?
That's just the power. That's just the power of the power coin.
No, that was the power of an evil coin because that's all he did so far. Once he turned good, that didn't happen again.
Well, I mean, he didn't.
That is crazy how they all of you. It's like you play Pokemon Sword and Shield and you beat Eternatus, and all you get is that teeny ass dragon at East Cherry. That's how that felt.
What is with that guy? I don't know, but he should have his eyes checked.
Yeah, I'd be afraid to interrupt him too. Carter shows up and recruits Cole, though we never get an answer why it's only him that they want. He brings Cole to the Masada spaceport where he reunites with Wes and Eric. TJ and Andros come in next. They've all been assembled by a veteran ranger, Tommy. So how will they be getting to the moon to stop the Machine Empire from whatever they're doing?
In this. Present the Astro Megaship Mark II. Fresh off the construction yards of KO-35, the fastest spaceship in the galaxy.
Oh, hell yeah! New megaship! Okay, we don't see a lot of it, but after losing the first one, it's just great to see a new one. Tommy partially explains the situation.
Andros has recently tracked down the remains of the evil Machine Empire.
But I thought the Zero Rangers destroyed them years ago.
We destroyed their leaders, but some of their generals managed to survive.
Oh, and for the record, it was Zed and Rita who destroyed the Machine Empire, but they weren't around when that happened, so we'll just pretend the Zeo Rangers did it. Before they leave, Andros points out that he thought there was at least one more Red Ranger on Earth. Tommy says that he had hoped that he'd show up, but apparently he didn't. However, they hear a motorcycle outside and go out to check. Jason has arrived.
You didn't think I was going to let you do this without the original Red Ranger, did you?
Meanwhile, on Miranoi, Leo once again takes the Quasar Saber out of the rock and does epic posing. On board the Astro megaship, Tommy gives some Cliff Notes summaries of the events of Zeo. While King Mondo and the Royal House of Gadgetry are indeed destroyed, the Machine Empire's generals survived the Z-Wave and have gathered on the moon.
Looks like they're digging something there.
Well, what would they want on the moon?
Serpentera. Years ago, when Lord Zed was defeated, his personal Zord remained hidden on the surface of the moon.
But I spent the last few years trailing General Venjix. Just recently, he discovered the hidden location of Serpentera.
If the Machine Empire gets their hands on Serpentera, they're gonna have more than enough power to destroy Earth.
The Beetleborgs install a new reactor in Serpentera to fix its AAA battery issue. The Rangers arrive, and right out of the starting gate, they're badass.
You know, if you miss King Mondo that much, I promise we can help you join him.
The fights in this episode are the epitome of win. The thing is, since In Space, there have been less and less unmorphed fights featured on the show. As such, it's just really impressive to see them actually kicking ass in civilian mode. And of course, Carter doesn't waste any time and shoot stuff, because that's how Carter rolls. The Beetleborgs head out to Serpentera to try to board it, but Cole runs out to stop them. Stop! In the name of love! He gets knocked back, but before he's blasted, he's rescued by Leo and Orico, the Red Equation Ranger. The group reunites, and, of course, it's time.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Let's
do it, guys.
Leo!
Turbo!
Let's rock it! Space Ranger! Go! Galactic! Go! Galactic! Blade speed! Rescue! Red Speed Ranger! Now! Time for order! Clear! Temples! Yeah! One pound! Quantum Ranger! Yeah! Road access! Red One Force Ranger! Red Alien Ranger! Yeah! Alright guys, let's do it!
And this, my friends, is how you make a 10th anniversary special. It's incredible watching the fight sequences here, highlighting just how much has changed since the show began. It's especially cool to see the original Mighty Morphin suit doing the more extensive wirework stuff that's been in the more recent seasons. We see how technology has changed to allow for better special effects in the fights.
Yeah.
Hell, they even pull off a Matrix bullet time camera spin. Or check this out, a speed up, slow down, ramping effect. And in case you're wondering, this was 3 years before 300 did it. The lead Beetleborg manages to get into the horrible CGI Serpentera and takes off. Carter says there's no time to get back to the megaship, so Cole summons the Wild Force Rider in this incredibly goofy-looking sequence where he flies at the thing.
Yes.
And yes, he uses this thing to defeat Serpentera. Oh, and he even screeches in space. You know, we can live with the whole air on the moon thing, but now you're just trying to piss me off. Cole flies right into the mouth of Serpentera and destroys it. This is the only major misstep of the episode, that Serpentera gets taken down so easily, but there is a reason for it. Anyway, the Rangers say goodbye to each other, and they have a good laugh about Tommy's popularity, especially when Cole calls him the greatest Ranger ever, but they all have their own things to say about why they're all awesome instead. I'm sure many of you who have never seen or heard about this before have a lot of questions, and even those of you who have seen the episode know of all the continuity and questions surrounding the episode, so let's just get it all out of the way. First and foremost, this is a reunion of all the Red Rangers, so where the hell is Rocky? Steve Cardenas was indeed approached to appear in the episode. However, he was moving at the time, and sadly they couldn't reach him when it came time to actually bring him in. He was, however...
Case in point, Rocky was...
Don't tell me.
Let's just wait.
Got it.
You gonna say something?
No.
Time's up. The answer is
Ninja Storm. Damn it, I'm wrong, ain't I? I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hit you so hard.
especially since we're in Wild Force season.
Rocky was in Mighty Morphin after Jason left.
Oh yeah.
He took the mantle of the Red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger after Jason, Trini, and Zach, figuratively, went to college.
Yeah.
Well, not college, but
I thought it went for the concert.
yeah,
Conference.
the conference. And they had to leave Angel Grove.
That's when the Black Ranger wasn't black anymore.
Yes.
Oh, he was an Asian guy.
And we got Adam.
We got Adam.
Case in point, Adam was still awesome. He's still awesome.
Adam was still
Oh,
awesome.
Oh, because he was in the movie. Got it. I haven't seen Power Rangers in so long.
What kind of shit?
Let's continue.
Are fully on board with coming back. It's just sometimes this sort of thing happens. It should be noted, though, that the appearance for him...
If Jason is here, then why wouldn't he rock it in?
Because he was moving. They couldn't get him in time.
They couldn't get him in time, and he wasn't
But
really.
Jason is
he
more
didn't. He
iconic
didn't
than
really.
Rocky, though.
Well, yeah. No one's arguing that. Jason is there.
Okay, we're fine.
Jason is there. The only reason why they would talk about Rocky is because you would at least let him have the Ninjetti powers.
Yes.
I guess,
Which
but
would have
like,
been
but
kinda
he would,
nice.
but he would transform into the same Tyrannosaurus Red Ranger though.
Yeah.
So it'll be two Tyrannosaurus Red. It would be.
No, actually, at that point, they will probably have Rocky become just a plain ninja, and that.
But he was still technically being human form then.
No, the Ninjetti was still strong as shit.
Yeah, I'm not down with that, but I'm saying like it would still be two Tyrannosaurus Rex Power Rangers.
But they wasn't gonna do that. They was gonna like you said, they were gonna have him be in his ninja form.
I don't know. Jason, he's there. It's cool.
Ed planned was not as a Red Ranger, but as Tommy's butler.
You see, why do I have to be the butler?
He would have only assumed the Red Mighty Morphin powers if they couldn't get Austin St. John to be Jason. Personally, I would have put him in the ninja suit and dropped the Red Equation Ranger, but what you gonna do? Speaking of, Orico is the only Ranger to not have his original actor reprise his role, which isn't that bad since he only had like 2 or 3 lines in the entire episode. Next question is of the powers, something that's hotly debated about. Most glaring of the problems is Jason's, since he had given up the Mighty Morphin powers to Rocky. One theory is that the Sword of Light didn't transfer the powers so much as copy them, but that tends to get thrown out for various reasons. Another theory is that during Zeo, Rocky gave the Morpher back to Jason. It's certainly plausible. Adam still had his Morpher, and we saw that the things can still function, and it's potentially possible for them to be repaired. However, there is an official explanation by Amit Baumick, the writer for this episode. His answer was that in one of the Power Rangers comics, Lord Zed once used the leftover energy from the Dino Coins and created Dark Rangers based on the powers, and that Jason took the Morpher from him. It's a bit of a stretch, especially since the canonicity of comic books and the like is questionable, but hey, take what you can get. Okay, yeah, I guess you're wondering about Bulk and Skull, too. Well, the theory postulated there is that the wormhole that the Galaxy Rangers supposedly used back in Trakeena's Revenge to bring them to Earth could have allowed Bulk to return to Earth, too. Again, I don't really think it matters other than the two are working at a resort. Again, kind of like a juice bar from their youth. As for TJ and the turbo powers, recall that Storm Blaster had a spare morpher for Justin, so it's entirely possible that Lightning Cruiser also had a spare turbo morpher for TJ. We never saw the Zeo powers being lost on screen, so it's most likely that Tommy still had them after he retired from active duty. Now, people have asked why he doesn't use them at other points we'll get to, same as with Adam back in Always a Chance. But my theory is a philosophical one. The Rangers are supposed to be a team, and there's just something wrong from a Ranger philosophical position of using them as a solo hero. I know it's stupid, stupid, but I'm gonna go with that since we don't have any other real answers. There's also an Alpha robot on the megaship who we see and hear briefly, though he was supposed to have a few more lines in the original script. He's identified as Alpha 7, but since he has the original voice and since we never learned the fate of the original Alpha 5, I'm just gonna say it's Alpha 5 and go with that. As you'll recall from the Lightspeed Rescue review, Danny Slavin had a falling out with the production team, so when he was asked to come back, he was on the fence about it. When he did finally decide to return, most of the filming had already been completed. As such, he was digitally inserted into several shots, and in one group shot where he's supposed to be unmorphed, you can clearly see the suited version. There were 3 other former cast members who were in the episode as voices for the Beetleborgs: Walter Jones, who played Zack, Catherine Sutherland, who played Kat, and Archie Cow, who played Kai. Sure, most of it was just 1 or 2 lines and some grunting, but it's still cool that they did that. Another trivia note, the chess set that Bulk and Skull are playing with is the one used from In Space during the Psycho Ranger saga. Forever Red dug deep into Power Rangers lore, bringing up everything they could to make the episode a great little nostalgia trip and overall a damn enjoyable experience. It's one of the few episodes I'll happily rewatch anytime. It's the kind of thing Power Rangers fans have been wanting for years, a team-up of all the old Ranger teams. Sure, it didn't have everybody, and we never learned the reason why it's Red Rangers only.
Well, here's the thing. They did that, and it was not...
It wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good.
They did that in Megaforce.
Did that, yeah.
The Japanese did it better than that.
They really did.
Everything better.
They really did. And the thing that sucks so much was that they made a specific morpher for all of Tommy's past Ranger forms.
Yeah, it's called a Master Morpher, right?
Yeah. And they wouldn't make a toy out of it. I was mad.
So
I was heated.
You know what the funny part is?
What?
I remember that now.
They did make a toy for it.
Well, how come I can't find the shit?
Because it's sold out.
Sir,
bitch.
First of all, you talking about Tommy Power Rangers. You want his premium Bandai Mega Morpher, Master Morpher? You gonna have to dig to China to find that.
Pretty much.
Pun intended.
But let's continue the video.
My depression is seething.
Mine too. We ain't talking about that though.
For their mission, but 10 Rangers from the past 10 seasons was an awesome sight to behold and making for one of the best episodes of the show. However, it almost wasn't made. Disney was pretty hands-off on the production of Wild Force, but what got their attention was that the Wild Force production team was planning on doing another 2-parter in the same block of episode.
We'll be right back, people. We got mystery people at the door.
Nick,
you mean the one that I gave you?
Wrong.
Anyway, continue.
Was that they had done reinforcements from the future. They asked about it, and the producer, Jonathan Zacher, explained about the 10th anniversary and their hopes to release it either as a video special or as an hour-long special that could be broken up into 2 parts for syndication. Disney responded very simply. Why are you advertising old toys that aren't made anymore? In return, Zacher explained the team-up tradition. However, Disney was upset because they had already done a team-up episode, one very expensive and lacking Sentai footage. They managed to negotiate it down to 1 episode, but the production team overshot the episode in the hopes that in post-production, Disney would relent and let them just do a 2-parter. Disney held firm, however, so a lot of footage got cut, mostly just extensions on scenes already there, which you can find on YouTube if you're curious, though it's pretty much unedited footage with multiple takes. To make matters worse, Disney flat out refused to hire people outside of the company for the CGI of the episode, which sadly also meant that the planned battle at the end with Serpentera, which was supposed to include a whole bunch of old Megazords fighting Serpentera, had to be scrapped. Furthermore, the first rough cut for Serpentera was hideous, barely looking like him and colored purple of all things. With all the budget reductions on it, they ran out of money to finish the episode. As such, the production team went to Bandai for the money needed to finish it. Bandai agreed to finance the remainder, but only if they promoted a new toy in the episode, the Wild Force Rider. And that is why we have the ridiculously dumb sequence of the Wild Force Rider destroying Serpentera, who...
That's the reason why. Wow. That is the reason why, right there, why Power Rangers is suffering so much. Because of these companies who think they know what they're doing and know how to make money are not making it well.
Should have been sponsored by Ray Shut. No, I'm just kidding. But no. Yeah. So, like, Serpentera was the ancient being.
Serpentera almost literally destroyed the old Megazords.
Literally.
And the Nanjetti Megazords. Basically, simply because of how strong it was. And you telling me that it just gets destroyed by one flying motorcycle?
A bike he used once.
What?
In that specific scene. Wow.
Man, come on, dude.
That was a punch in the dick.
Disney, like, why?
That was a punch in the dick from, like, Mike Tyson. Could imagine Mike Tyson punching me. That would fucking suck.
And you're gonna say, and we already did a very expensive one. You had billions of dollars.
More like million. Well, maybe billions.
No. It ain't no maybe. They do have billions of dollars. They make $1 million every day.
Disney we're talking about. Disney cares more about Steamboat Mickey than they care about anything else.
That's true.
They don't care. If Saban and is this Saban? It's Toei.
This is Saban.
If Saban didn't partner with Disney for all this, Power Rangers wouldn't even have gotten past fucking. It wouldn't have gotten past not even RPM. It wouldn't even gotten that far. Still, yeah. Pretty fucking mediocre. If you ask me. It's okay though.
That's alright.
At least be upfront.
But no, and it's the thing about it is that you find out years later that it could have been 10 times better than what you saw it as, and the reason why is because we just didn't feel like it.
I mean, of course, when you're 6 years old watching this shit, you're not like, oh my god, you're powerful. Like,
not because they couldn't do it, they just didn't think that it would make money. They didn't think that we would be interested.
He said they ran out of money, so.
Yeah, because Disney wouldn't budge.
Disney, again, this is Disney we're talking about.
You keep complaining, but the simple thing is, Disney won't care about it unless it's their own product.
Right. This
is a co-partnership.
Granted, Disney's gotten somewhat better over the years, but still, Disney's not fucking much for Power Rangers. Power Rangers is a household name, yes, but yeah. And this is why Kamen Rider didn't come west, because it would have.
I'm actually happy.
It would have the same.
You want to know what's crazy?
It would have the same treatment.
I'm actually happy it didn't. I'm happy it's over there.
Dragon Knight, horrible.
If
they kept going, I would actually hit Kamen Rider if it was Mash Rider.
Let's just keep watching now. I know you're mad. No,
I'm just disappointed. It's just disappointment, honestly.
We all.
Yeah, but let's focus on the making the video.
Once vaporized the planet. There's some explanation they've given about how, it was a gift from Animus, who was like a god, therefore it was a godly weapon. No, it's a motorcycle, and it just looks silly. Anyway, the metaphor continues in the Master's Herald. Mandalorian is severely pissed that the Rangers have retrieved their Wild Swords and sends Jindrax and Toxica away. A new Duke Org, Onakage, appears and swears his fealty to Mandalorian, but then goes to Jindrax and Toxica and tells them that they can be redeemed in Mandalorian's eyes if they kidnap Princess Shayla. I love this guy right away, and it's all in the voice, very subdued and controlled. It kind of reminds me of General Havoc.
That's all right, I can do it by myself. I was just trying to do you a favor.
They sneak up.
We missed it, but take a good look at him and take a look at Shinobi from Kamen Rider Z.
He doesn't look any different. He doesn't look, not any different, any similar.
Stop, you're gonna look up the picture. Come on.
Out of the animarium, Toxica even ditching her veil. However, she also tries to touch the fountain and gets zapped for her trouble.
These are the famous Power Rangers. Interesting outfits.
They retreat, but Mandalorian is pissed that they ruined Onakage's plan. However, Onakage says Toxica may still be of use to them. While the Rangers are distracted by a battle with the Orgs, Toxica sneaks out of the animarium disguised as Merrick. She lures Shayla out and is about to take her when...
Get away from me! Make me.
You can fight? Don't underestimate me. I'm not just a princess. I'm a guardian of the earth.
If that's true, how come up until this point you've been nothing but a major load? Easily kidnapped at least 3 times now. Seriously, she's pulling off flips and kicks. This is completely out of left field. They fight some more, and Toxica is thrown into the water.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Stop.
That just happened, right?
Yes. You could fight this whole time?
And if I think about it, if they would have expanded, she could have been a 7th Ranger.
So we're not crazy, right? All right. Okay. I was just making sure.
So she said
I was just making sure that I'm not crazy. We thinking the same thing, right?
Yeah.
We thinking the same shit. Okay. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know.
Because if you think about it, if she said she was the guardian, she could have easily be a fucking 7th Ranger.
No. Bump all day. If she was guardian of the earth, she could have escaped by herself. She could have defended herself when she got kidnapped 3 times.
3 times. Not once. Not twice.
And like I said, she could have been another Ranger. She could have transformed right there when she was kidnapped.
So we're not crazy. Okay.
No.
We all on the same thought. We all on the same page here. Okay. Just making sure.
You know, somebody in the comments gonna say,
Wild Force,
that's
y'all
because she was an important character to protect the Adamus.
Bitch, please.
Wild Force, y'all are just y'all making me question my love for this series.
Let's keep going, y'all.
Y'all making me question my love.
We're
for this
almost
series.
there. This is the last part.
That's like Link going to save Zelda, and all of a sudden Zelda's just like, you know what? I'm tired. No, even better. That's like Mario going to save Princess Peach, and Princess Peach pull out a whole battle suit and a fucking flower power cannon and blast Bowser to pieces. That's exactly what just happened. That's what just happened.
Let's keep going.
However, it's revealed that she cut off her horn at Onikage's suggestion, since it apparently would allow her to survive the water. Onakage says that it'll grow back, but Shayla says that the others are just using her for their own goals. Toxica returns with the princess, but she collapses. Onakage saying he has no idea what she's talking about when she says the horn will grow back. The Rangers arrive to save Shayla, but Mandalot uses her as a shield from the Rangers' weapons. She's vaporized, much to Jindrax's horror. Onakage makes himself grow as Mandalot orders Jindrax to take Shayla back to their lair. However, the giant Onakage turns out to be an illusion, Merrick shooting the real one. Onakage retreats and the Rangers are left to ponder the loss of the princess. Jindrax is wrought with grief, not sure who he can trust anymore if his own kind would destroy them. Onakage says that if they want the princess, to meet them at the exact same deserty hill area that's in every episode. He then suggests to Mandalot that he can hold his master's weapon so he doesn't grow tired. Plot point. Onakage unleashes shadow forms of the Rangers to fight them, and Mandalot congratulates him on a trap well sprung.
I am but a humble ninja, serving his one true master.
What are you looking at? Master Org?
Naturally, Onakage reveals that he actually works for Master Org and gives Mandalot's weapon to him. Mandalot tries to charge Master Org and gets blown up for his trouble. When Onakage is about to kill Jindrax, he teleports away with Shayla. The two talk, Shayla telling Jindrax about how she's sorry about Toxica. Onakage catches up with Jindrax, Shayla pushing Onakage out of the way before he can deliver a killing blow to the Duke Org. He takes Shayla back to Master Org, Jindrax following them. Jindrax declares his hatred for Master Org, since he does nothing but destroy everything around him, even those who are most loyal to him. The Rangers manage to destroy Onakage while Master Org takes Shayla away. Jindrax gets contacted by Toxica from the spirit world and is told how to bring her back to life. While he finishes the plan and restores her to life, Master Org begins a dark ceremony in the Nexus. Toxica tells Jindrax that while in the spirit world that she had a lot of time to think and that they need to start looking after themselves.
Here's another trope that I noticed. Almost every villain wants to marry or be with the princess. Guardian.
Why?
Why is that?
Wait, what are you talking about?
So, like, you ever notice how, like, the super main villain takes, like, the princess, and then they have a ceremony?
The ceremony is probably a sacrifice.
It's either that or some kind of, like...
matrimony.
Yeah. That's kind of... That's another trope that I've noticed, too, in certain things.
The power of the poo-poo is real.
What is that?
The power of the poo-poo is real, y'all. Listen.
I don't know.
We keep telling y'all this. I'll tell y'all this till the cows come home.
Child show. Come on,
hold on, stop. This comes from the same person that was suggesting that the reason why Rancid got his dog was because he raped somebody.
He probably did. He was a criminal.
Okay, child show. Child show.
We are not discussing this show.
He said it.
I said that.
Not supposed to discuss rape on camera, okay? We gonna get every fucking monetized off of fucking YouTube, okay?
Yeah, and the episode's already out, and they haven't demonetized us yet.
Alright.
I don't even give a shit if
you
they
get famous,
demonetize me.
You get famous, and somebody hates you, and they dig deep.
I'm not the one that said it.
I know.
Anyway.
All I'm saying is
it also turns out that Shayla's necklace is a source of unimaginable power, and Master Org takes it to continue his plans. Shayla tries to convince Master Org to give up his evil ways.
There's always a chance for forgiveness. Cole forgave you for what you did to his parents.
When did he do that? Using the power of the necklace, Master Org resurrects his
Stop.
He did.
Stop.
He did when he did.
No, he did not. He just decided to let him go because it wasn't worth it. That's not forgiveness. That's just being smart. Because there's no point on killing someone.
Smart.
Well,
that's more or less mercy.
Yeah, they get less mercy. No.
But like, no. But like,
he didn't forgive him. No.
Wait. 5 minutes ago, weren't you just kicking ass? Kick his ass. Shut up, Brian. You're thinking too hard about this.
Orgs to defend the Nexus while he completes the ceremony. Meanwhile, Jindrax and Toxica go to the Rangers and explain how to gain access to the Nexus. While they let the Rangers do the heavy hitting and deal with the Org generals, the two Duke Orgs head into the Nexus to rescue Princess Shayla. The Nexus starts collapsing around them, Master Org meditating as he finishes the ceremony, his body crumbling into dust. With Master Org supposedly gone, Jindrax and Toxica declare the war between Orgs and humans over. The two leave the Rangers on good terms.
You know, Toxica, it felt strangely good to help somebody for a change.
Yeah? Well, don't get used to it, Jindrax.
Don't worry, short memory spans. I'll totally forget it by tomorrow.
The season comes to a close with the end of the Power Rangers. The Rangers celebrate their supposed victory.
We did it! We saved the world! The Power Rangers are over!
Oh, good one, Max. With the realization that their battle is over, the Rangers ponder what to do now.
I wonder what we're all gonna do with the Power Rangers over.
We'll do what anybody does. We'll go on living.
However, in the rubble of the Nexus, a glowing object called an Org Heart emerges, and Master Org's vines start encompassing the city. Master Org appears, mutated.
Hello, Rangers. Remember me? It is I, Master Org. It's so good to see you again.
Ew.
The Rangers go in to fight, but he walks through them, the group not landing a single shot on him. He even destroys Cole's battleizer in a single stroke and grows without any peanuts. Oh, and then Animus comes back. No sparkles or glows or anything, he just appears out of nowhere. Shayla tells the Rangers to withdraw, but Merrick stays behind to help Animus, regretting how he failed to help Animus in the battle 3,000 years before. However, Master Org is too powerful and smashes the Predazord, actually destroying their animal crystals. What's worse, Merrick's morpher vanishes and Animus reverts to Kite. Before Master Org can kill the two, the Animarium flies down and rams Master Org, teleporting the two up to it. Kite dies and evaporates into sparkles. Wow, on-screen human child death this time. With his new powers, Master Org teleports himself onto the Animarium. He kills the Falcon Zord and the Rangers morph, rallying the Wild Zords to defend the Animarium. The Wild Zords fight valiantly and blast Master Org apart, but thanks to the Org Heart powering him, he reforms. All of the Wild Zords are killed one by one, even the original 5. The Rangers as morphers vanish, and Master Org plunges his sword into the animarium, cracking it and forcing it to start free-falling. The putreds land in force as the city is encompassed in rain, normal plant life quickly dying off. Part 1 ends with the animarium falling and the Rangers clinging to the ground. The animarium crashes back into the original lake that it rose from. The Rangers, seeing Master Org walking through the city, decide to charge in without their powers. The 6 go through the putreds, putting up a good fight, but without their powers, they're simply outgunned. Cole gets to have his big hero moment as he rips off his team jacket and saves a little kid from the putreds, Tarzan style. Seeing Cole still fighting, the Rangers get their second wind and once again kick some ass. Taylor even retrieves Cole's jacket for him. Cole tries to swing at Master Org, but he just gets slapped away. You know, he never quite mastered that whole charging at the big monster thing. Master Org tells them it's hopeless without their powers.
We may not be Power Rangers anymore, and our wild swords may be gone, but their spirits still live inside us. I am Cole Evans, Blazing Light.
We have one thing you Orcs will never have. A heart. Eliza and Relay. Noble Tiger. That's one thing you can never take away from us. Taylor Earhart. Soaring Eagle.
And we're still Guardians of the Earth. Max Cooper. Sergeant Sharp.
Cooper.
And we will never ever give up. Danny Delgado. Iron Bison.
Wait.
The fight with every last breath in us to save the world. I am Merrick Militov. Helen Wolf. Guardians of the Earth, united in one.
Malatov? I got the last name.
Merrick Malatov.
Malatov.
Okay.
Yo, Malatov got through.
No way. Again, their fingertips must be fucking.
I know, like they still do it. Like
I thought they hit their entire
no,
palm.
it's just bam.
No, I thought it's the entire palm.
No.
It's everything.
It's the fingers. The fingers come down first.
Okay. There are multiple things wrong with this.
Except your braids.
Can we not bash each other real quick?
Alright. My full name. Fuck.
Well, they can't say Red Ranger.
Yeah, niggas can. Niggas still say that.
They're not in Ranger form though.
Donald Trump. What? That is so stupid. I'm sorry. It's stupid. I'm sorry. I'm too old to understand. The kid in me was like, my first and last name. Brown Ranger. I don't fucking know. Hate everything.
Very touching. But I am Master Org, and I will make
where was the break for
just like the Wild Swords.
However, the clouds suddenly break as the Wild Sword spirits emerge from the sky, including the remaining Wild Swords that the group hadn't found. Their crystals are reformed along with their powers.
Master Org, your evil ends here. Ultra Roar.
Using their weapons, they slice the Org heart in half, destroying him and finally bringing an end to the Orgs. The Wild Zords all return to the Animarium, and Princess Shayla tells us that it's sadly time for her to leave.
I'm gonna take the Wild Swords and the Animarium up into the sky, where they'll be safe, until the Earth needs them once again.
She then asks them to give up their jackets and morphers. Okay, this is bullcrap. The morphers I understand, but you're asking for the jackets back? That is bullcrap. It's a freaking jacket. Are the powers dependent on them or something? Bah.
As long as the spirit of the Earth is alive in your hearts, you will always be Power Rangers.
No, bullshit. Fuck that shit. No, I hated that part. Why would you take their Morphers and jackets, assuming that they weren't going to be needed anymore? Evil comes into this fucking planet 24/7. Why would you take their powers away and then go to sleep?
Oh,
and their jackets, that's just petty.
I'm telling you, they
who wants to wear somebody else's jacket?
They literally could.
That's because
they could have just
Ranger season is over, so we're never gonna see.
Fuck that. Fuck no, Jonathan. Fuck that. That's not right.
They could just fight crime. I'm telling you, they could stop the bank robbery as Power Rangers.
They can't do that.
So you telling me if the bank got robbed and the Power Rangers didn't spring into action, the criminal wouldn't be like, holy shit, the Power Rangers.
Well, according to Adamus, they were sworn to protect the Earth. That means everything.
Yeah,
so,
but they can't do that.
Why not? Overkill?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh damn, my bad. I forgot. I'm a fucking
They can do it as a human, but they can't do it as with their Power Rangers.
So if you are a fucking Power Ranger, right, and you walk into the bank without your morpher, you think just fucking say just give them the jackets back.
Yeah, give them let them have the morph. Let them keep the morphers. There's literally going to be nobody else who's going to come up to the Animarium and become the new Wild Force Ranger. That's stupid. That's actually retarded. No.
I don't know. They never came back at all, though.
That's what I'm saying. There will be nobody coming back up there. So why not just let them have it?
Because it's too much power.
Right. With great power comes great responsibility.
I'm about to get up because there have been so many other Rangers that kept their powers after the evil was defeated.
Yeah, but this is different.
I mean,
this source of power is different. It didn't come from the grid, though.
What the fuck? Lightspeed Rescue didn't come from the morphing grid, and they kept their powers.
That actually technically they did.
Time Force didn't get their powers didn't come from the morphing grid. They kept their powers.
Technically, it did. It came from the future power grid. It still connects.
None of this shit makes sense.
Bullshit.
I'm
Bullshit.
almost 30 years old. None of this shit makes sense now.
I know. Keep playing.
Bye, my friends.
Random narrator returns, only now it's a woman.
And so the princess took the Animarium back into the sky where she still sleeps, waiting for the day when the Earth needs her and the Wild Zords once again.
Perhaps we'll finally know peace as well.
After Cole made his peace with Dr. Adler, he continued to use his skills to help animals wherever he went. Taylor returned to the Air Force, where she was given a hero's welcome by the younger pilots.
What happened to you? I mean, some say you landed on an island in the sky. Is that true?
Yeah, kind of like in the fairy tale.
An island in the sky. Sounds like you guys are reading too many children's stories.
Max and Danny decided to go on a long vacation and see the world. Merrick wandered the globe searching for his next adventure, along with an unlikely companion from his past.
Where are you going?
I go wherever the wind takes me.
You could use some company.
My path is to walk alone. I still have much to atone for.
You and I have a lot in common. You're not the only lone wolf looking for redemption.
Follow me if you must. I won't stop you.
Well then, lead the way. Old friend.
So let me get this straight.
What he could afford?
No, I thought
he doesn't. He can't get his ranger powers because fucking dumb bimbo princess went and took him. But he can still use Zanaku's power apparently.
Zanaku was connected to him in a different way.
Well, yeah, but the match was destroyed.
But I think one episode when he was a ranger, he still fought Zanaku himself.
That'd be because Master Orchid brought him back for some reason.
Yeah, and did he finish him off?
No.
Kind of. It's like
not really.
Not really.
If I remember, I don't think he did.
Yeah, so that Zach was still alive.
Oh,
walking around. And now, as you can see, they're friends.
All right.
Two wolves redeeming themselves.
I like Zanaku, so I was happy when he came back.
From then on, the Earth was free from orgs, and all of the Power Rangers went on to live peaceful, happy lives.
But what happened to Alyssa, the White Ranger?
Oh, how could I forget? Alyssa finished college and went on to become a teacher.
Like you?
Like me.
Is that true, Miss Enrile, or did you just make it all up?
What do you think?
Power Rangers Wild Force gets a very mixed reaction from the fans, and it's easy to see why. While plenty of previous seasons have had their own environmental messages to them, some more overt than others, the Animus arc really comes off as condescending and patronizing. Furthermore, the acting isn't exactly up to par with those that had come before. A lot of dialogue just coming off as clunky even when spoken seriously. As a personal theory, I wonder if there wasn't also an attempt to market it to really little kids, considering the number of child actors in this season. All of them terrible actors that seem to be kindergarten or first grade age. The story of the Animarium is told as a children's story, and it ends with Alyssa telling the full story to equally young and annoying children. Sure, Power Rangers is a kids' show, but I'd like to think that the age group for the show had at least gotten past finger painting. As for the acting, I actually thought the first half of the season was going pretty well acting-wise. Taylor is obviously the best of the bunch, able to display a full range of emotions and make pretty much all of her dialogue work. The others, it seems like a problem is that it's written for much younger actors than who we actually have. These are supposed to be roughly college-age Rangers, but the dialogue feels at times like it's for middle school or junior high characters. Behind the scenes, it becomes clear that not all of the acting was the fault of the actors. Jonathan Zacher was a huge fan of the original Sentai shows, to the point where he was insisting that more and more of the storylines in Power Rangers should match those of the original Sentai. Which, from what I hear, Gal Ranger, the series Wild Force was based on, was not that great. However, Zacher's love of the Sentai shows had him actually bring in several Japanese directors who had worked on those shows, many of whom did not speak English. It really goes a long way to explain Cole's dialogue quirks after reinforcements from the future. For example, there's this classic bit.
I don't know much about spaceships or this machine empire, but I will go wherever I must to protect the Earth.
Now imagine if that was in Japanese and you were reading it as subtitles. Suddenly it doesn't seem quite as awful, does it? I will say, though, that despite the Animus arc, the poor acting, and the craptastic last 10 minutes of the end of the Power Rangers, I actually really enjoyed Wild Force. The action was fast-paced and well-scored, the group really seemed to gel on screen, though it's reported that not all of the cast got along, and the overall story wasn't too bad. Sure, there's that environmental focus again, but besides for the Anima storyline, it wasn't that overt. The characters themselves were a wide range of personalities, and the Zords being alive actually was important in this season as opposed to Lost Galaxy, where the Galactic Beasts were just alive because that's what the Sentai was like. There was some other behind-the-scenes stuff that never made it to fruition. For example, while Fox originally aired a good chunk of the beginning of the season, they didn't approve of Cole's parents truly being dead. However, the writers said that Cole's parents were actually alive and that they'd come back at the end of the season. How? Well, it would turn out that Jindrax and Toxica were actually his brainwashed parents. And knowing that, the fact that they act differently than a lot of the other destruction-oriented orgs makes a lot more sense. Disney, however, didn't know any of this, and since they planned on ending the show anyway, didn't care, and the idea that the two parents would be alive was thrown out. And I like that tragic aspect to Cole's character, that he goes on this journey to find his parents, but ultimately he can never be reunited with them. The fact that he never knew them probably helps explain why he's not truly angry at Dr. Adler for what he did to them. Admittedly, though, Cole didn't really do much to actually attempt to find his parents. He just sat down and stared at the photo. It was Alyssa who actually recommended looking into the records to find them. Speaking of Alyssa, it's hard to get a beat on her character. She's just perky, sometimes annoyingly so, but the same can be said of Danny and Max. Still, she actually was the one in the group with martial arts training, and she can be thought of the second most empathetic character after Cole. Max's character was built around his insecurities of being the youngest of the group, and while I said that it seems like the characters were supposed to be written as middle schoolers but saddled with actors that they couldn't pretend to be younger, it helps explain his friendship with Danny. Danny doesn't care that Max is younger than him, since Danny seems to suffer from a severe inferiority complex at times. Max's youthful optimism is probably why the two work so well as, I really hate to use the term, but bromance. Yes, them repeatedly saying, "Never give up," could get eye-rolling at times, but that's only because it's so simple and cheesy. But hey, remember, Power Rangers. The old days had more phenomenal, so we can live with never give up. Sadly, the Danny subplot of his relationship with the flower girl, and sorry, I really can't remember her name, really seems like it could have gone somewhere, at least acknowledged in the finale, but sadly it just kind of petered out. But hey, he was making progress with her, especially after she discovered he was the Black Ranger. Taylor is an Air Force pilot, and as such, she's from a military background. She says she joined the Air Force in order to locate the Animarium, since she had dreams of it since she was a child, but the Air Force still was what made her the tougher person that she was on the team. She was abrasive, strong-willed, and basically not someone you wanted to screw with. She was initially reluctant to let Cole on, but by secrets and lies, she was on board with him as leader and as part of the team. She softened a little bit throughout the season, and I'd like to think Reinforcements from the Future was where she had her most significant change, with Eric being an influence and showing her it was okay to like the others, though it went back and forth depending on what episode it was. Merrick is one of the lamest 6th Rangers ever. Don't get me wrong, in theory, his story is great and overall it did work. It's just it really came off like the writers were arguing about what to do with him. Well, he's a lone wolf. Okay, but he's been locked up in Zenaku for years and he used to have a relationship with the princess. Well, then he still helps the Rangers and is friends with them. But I thought he was a lone wolf. He's both! It gets really annoying in the unfinished business episode. Why exactly does he feel responsible for Zenaku's actions? It was clear from the beginning the wolf mask was in the driver's seat. No one for an instant failed to trust him. And as I said earlier, if it was such a big deal for a princess and a warrior to get together, why the heck were they an item in the past? Princess Shayla was nothing but a load. It's not a matter of it being a Disney princess thing. She was just a poorly conceived character. She didn't do anything. She rarely had any wisdom or intelligence for the Rangers to use. She was just kidnapped and sang that stupid-ass song. Only one time in 40 episodes did she actually do something shocking, the karate kick, and that was never repeated or mentioned again. Not to mention, what exactly is she a princess of? Let's talk about some story stuff for a minute. One of the reasons that I like to praise the original Green with Evil 5-parter and say that it's well written isn't because of the dialogue. Of course the dialogue can be clunky and cheesy at times. It's early 90s Power Rangers. However, from a story perspective, it was very well crafted. The first part established the stakes. New character, cuts off the Rangers from Zordon, and is easily able to defeat them. Part 2, the Rangers start to recover a little, but Jason is kidnapped and forced to endure a fight against Goldar without his morpher. Part 3, Jason fights the Green Ranger and escapes. Part 4, the Rangers are still barely holding on, and they endure their worst defeat, but at the end they learn who the Green Ranger is. Part 5, the Green Ranger is turned to good, Zordon is restored. Each episode felt wholly unique and did different things for the overall storyline. Conversely, the Zenaku storyline seemed a bit repetitive. Rangers say they'll recover a Zord, big fight, minor, if any, revelations about Zenaku, and finally lose another Zord. That's the problem with a lot of these later seasons as I see them. There's a little bit of build-up, some interesting ideas, but in the end, it's just repetitive and the conclusions aren't all that satisfactory. It may be a bit fan-wanky, but it's interesting to note that the destruction of Animaria was apparently 3,000 years ago, which also happened to be the time of the battle on Miranoi where the Quasar Sabers were forced into the stone. And isn't it interesting to note that the Galacta Beasts just happen to be living Zords with a robotic animal form, just like the Wild Zords? And isn't it funny that we never did get an answer about what that incident in Lost Galaxy was, isn't it? Now, I did ask one of my sources about this, and he said that that in fact was intentional, since Amit Bhaumak was trying to integrate more parts of the series together. But since I can't get confirmation from the source itself, I prefer to think of it as a funny little fan theory and nothing more. As I said last time, I believe this season to be underrated. There's plenty to dislike about it, but I think there's just as much to like. Good action, fairly strong characters, complex villains, fantastic team-up episodes, and yeah, the acting is mixed at best, but we'll see far worse in later seasons, and frankly, we've seen far worse in earlier seasons. Like In Space, this was once again going to be the final season of the show. Disney, in its purchase of several Saban series, had planned to shut down the shows and only air reruns in order to save money. While it wasn't a send-off to everything that had come before it, the team-ups allowed closure and a sense of optimism about the future of the Earth and those who wielded the power. If you skip the last half of the final episode, End of the Power Rangers is a pretty damn epic conclusion, full of tension, action, and a great last stand by the Rangers. However, once again, Power Rangers was saved from cancellation. This time, however, it came because it was suggested that the show would be a lot cheaper to produce if they moved production over to New Zealand. But we'll discuss the changes in store there when we brave the weather in Power Rangers Ninja Storm.
All right.
I guess it's time to say goodbye again. May the power protect y'all.
Okay. Hold on. I have to...
The episode begins
with...
with...
Stop. Okay. So I can get out of this.
So,
final thoughts?
Power Rangers is a kid's show. We're grown adults and we're reviewing it again. Hallelujah.
On that note, I'm gonna go get laid.
He'll be back in a few minutes.
No, I'm not.
He'll be back in a few minutes.
No, I'm not.
In conclusion,
Not come back.
this was an eye-opener for me.
Help me realize how much mistakes adults made when we were kids.
Yes.
Especially industries. Like
Greatly.
Disney, Savant.
This could have been a lot better. This could have been a lot better. There's some things in this story that doesn't make sense. There's some things in this story that didn't really need to happen. But nevertheless, it happened, so what can you do? Let me know what y'all think down below, how you felt about this part. How you felt about Wild Forest in general. I will conversate with you guys when you, down below. As such, this has been the hero Sakurai, my good friend Jonathan, and the Urban Ninja, who's now back.
And your boy, the Urban Ninja.
He just said that.
A lot of shit coming soon.
I'll see y'all later.
We out of here.
Peace.